Hi, I'm Sue Wilson. I'm back with another episode of my video series called Crafting My Style. And as crafters, every once in a while we just make a card that we think, oh, I love this. I just want to look at it. And this is the card for me. Nothing tricky about it, but I just think it's beautiful. And I just wanted to sit and look at it when I finished it. So I thought I'd share it with you today. So to show you what we're going to be using, I've got the California Collection corner border and tag. We're using the borders from this. I've got the really beautiful detailed Beverly Hills design out of the same collection, and the decorative frames set B. Right. Now, this card, it really isn't anything tricky. It's all about the dies, layering them up and showing what they can do. So I'm going to do a bit of cutting for you so you can see how nicely they cut. So let's do the border first. And I've got a piece of black card here. I'm going to tape my border into place using some removable tape and just run it through. Now this border is an especially long border. It's 9 inches. So if you like to do the bigger cards like I do, it's perfect for that. There we go. Let's do some embossing. That'll bring out the beauty in it. So I've changed out the boards. I've put my tan mat on and the pink embossing plate to run it through the grind caliper. And it came right out of the die. So let's just show you how beautifully that cut. In fact, let's set that to the side. And we've just got some bits to pop out. And you can see they'll pop out quite easily. You do have some curly cues, so don't get them caught on your curly cues when you take them apart. There we go. And last little guy, come here. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. So what I've done is I've cut 2 of the cream colored, the milk card, and 2 of the black. Now we'll be using that on our card. So let me just tidy up, get all my little bits and pieces out of the way. I'm going to put the die back on the magnetic sheet, and then be sure to take the little pieces off of your embossing mat. And tidy this up. And we'll cut the centerpiece from the Beverly Hills collection. And let me show you that one. I'll tape it onto a piece of milk card. It is really detailed, but I think it cuts beautifully. Go backwards. There again, let's do some embossing. Now there's a tiny little spot that might need a further cut, but let's see. Sometimes I find just the extra little bit of embossing takes care of that. And that looks like it's taken care of the job. Poke that one out. Same thing, I've just got to remove bits and pieces, but I'll tell you what, I've actually got these done, so you can see it's all cut beautifully well, but we'll use the one that we've already prepared so we don't have to take up any more time for that. So let's set this aside. Now, I'm going to start with the borders onto this piece of milk card. So what I want to do is put some glue on the back of all of them, and then we'll assemble them. I just need to get the glue on there so it's set up just a tiny bit and will really nicely grab. Let's go ahead and do all of these and put a little bit along here and do this one. There's a nice spot there that's solid that you can add some glue to. I wanted to have a bit of detail in these, but I also still wanted places to put some mounting foam. And I think we've been able to achieve that really nicely with these. There's that. A little glue on the tips here, that should be enough. And let me get this one. That should work. So now I'm going to start with the milk colored borders on this. And I'm just going to attach them to the edge of the cards. Right about like that. See how, because I've got a longer border, I can span the entire length of that card without any problem. And then we'll put this one on this side. Try to get it fairly even. Looks like about like that. I think I'm close. You can take more time, obviously, when you make your version. And now with the black ones, what I'm going to do is just offset it ever so slightly. So you can see the milk-colored one peeking out from underneath. So it doesn't take your eye away from the card, but it just gives you a little bit of extra interest there. Let me make sure that's going to set up real nicely. Give it a good press. That should work. And let's do this one now. I think right about, try and make that as even as possible. Get that on there real good. Okay, and now we're going to just trim off the ends. You can use a paper cutter for a neater trim, but we're just going to do this with a pair of scissors for this. Let's see. I think we're good. I find it's easier to turn it over backwards and use the card as my guide when I don't have a paper cutter handy. Okay, so how pretty is that? Just so far, we've done our background. I'm going to go ahead and mount this onto a background that I've already created using my pearl dots, and I'll show you that at the end of the video. Use a little bit of double-sided tape here. That should be enough to hold that nicely. And we'll put that right into place there. That looks okay. Now I've cut a strip of black card with just a little thin mat of milk, and I've got some mounting foam on the back, and I'm going to put that right down the center. If you really wanted to dress this up, you could do an embossed texture there. Your call, and I apologize for leaning into your shot. Just want to make sure I've got that fairly even for you. And I've got the centers that I've done here ahead of time from the Beverly Hills collection, so we'll put some glue on those and get them all started to set up. That should be enough there to hold that. And we've got these two here. So you can see these decorative pieces, I think, they just can help create a card all on its own. There's not, you don't have to do even stamping or inking or anything else, because you've got the beauty of the die cut to help carry the card through. And let me get this last one. There we go. So I'm going to try and center this one right in the middle. Let's see, right about there, I think. And we'll put this one on. I think I've left enough room top and bottom. Yes, I have. It's a little tighter there, but there we go. Put this one on the top, and you can just see how the die cuts add so much extra to the card. That'll dry nice and clear. And then just to finish this off, what I've done is I've already stamped and cut out a little sentiment, and we'll put this right in the middle, finishing the card off, but I do want to show you how to do those pearl dots. So I've got some of the Cosmic Shimmer Pearl PVA glue and just a little piece of card to show it on. Now these colors come in, there must be several dozen different colors that it's available in. This is the pearl, and I'll show you the difference in how it looks coming out of the bottle and how it looks when it's dry too, so you can see. But simple as pie. What you do is just allow the nozzle to run so you get the glue to the tip. And what I usually do is, just to make sure there's no air bubbles, is I'll squeeze a little bit out onto my craft mat just to make sure, and then go to my card. Let it drip off the tip and pull away. The nozzle never touches the card, just the glue, and pull it away. It forms absolutely perfect little pearls. If you want tiny ones, you can do tiny ones. If you want it to be bigger, you squeeze till you're happy with the size of it. Let it pull away. Tiny little dots. You can do any size you want. You can mix them up. I do a paved pearl technique where I mix them, put different sizes together, and they will form and dry perfectly in that shape. Now, if you are using something slick like a gloss type of a card, they do flatten just slightly because there's not the tooth of the card to hold on to, but you can see how really nice they form up. And once they're dry, you get this lovely pearly sheen to them that's not quite evident when they're still wet. So some are matte, some are pearl. You have to look and see which kind you want, but this is the Cosmic Pearl, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. Perfect way to finish off a card that you just want to sit and look at. But I'm sure your friends would appreciate it if you sent that to them too.